Welcome to PodForge, your daily briefing, Tech AI Daily, February 14, 2026. All right, folks, diving straight in today on Tech AI Daily, we're tackling some fascinating and frankly eye-opening stories from the world of tech and AI. First up, we'll explore how swarms of AI bots are manipulating beliefs and potentially threatening democracy based on that recent discussion from the conversation. Then we're shifting gears to the Pentagon's controversial use of Anthropic's Claude AI in a real-world raid, which is sparking all sorts of debates. Finally, we'll wrap up with the latest on how the intelligence gap between open-weight models and big proprietary ones like Claude Opus is shrinking faster than ever. Let's get into it, because these stories really show how AI is reshaping our world, Okay, so starting with those AI bots. One of the most alarming things I've come across lately is this idea that swarms of AI bots can actually sway people's beliefs, and it's not just some sci-fi plot, it's happening right now, according to that piece on Reddit linking to the conversation. Basically, these bots work in groups to bombard social media with targeted messages, making it hard for folks to tell what's real and what's not, which could undermine democracy by spreading misinformation or amplifying certain views. I mean, think about it. If AI can subtly influence opinions on everything from politics to products, we're looking at a future where online narratives aren't organic but engineered. That's wild, and it makes me wonder how we can even fight back against this without stricter regulations or better detection tools, because if left unchecked, it could erode trust in all digital information.
Let me think about this for a second. Okay, so the source highlights experiments where these bot swarms successfully change people's minds on topics like climate change or health policies. It's not just about spamming. These AIs are getting smarter, learning from interactions to make their arguments more persuasive. That's really scary because as someone who uses social media daily, I can see how easy it is to get pulled into echo chambers. We need to be asking ourselves, how do we educate the public on spotting these bots? Maybe through AI literacy programs or platform transparency, because if we don't address this soon, it could lead to more polarized societies and even influence elections. All right, that's a lot to unpack, but it underscores why AI ethics aren't just buzzwords, they're essential.
Shifting to our second story. I was going to say it's a bit lighter, but honestly, it's still intense. The Pentagon's use of Claude AI from Anthropic during that raid on Venezuela's Nicolás Maduro has everyone talking. According to the Reddit post summarizing Axios, U.S. military officials deployed this AI model for things like data analysis and decision support in the operation, which is a first for mainstream AI in combat scenarios. That's mind-blowing. We're seeing AI move from labs to battlefields, potentially speeding up intel processing or predicting enemy moves, but it raises huge ethical questions about accountability and the risk of errors in high-stakes situations. I mean, if an AI misinterprets data and leads to unintended consequences, who takes the blame? The programmers, the military, or the tech company? This feud between Anthropic and the implications could set precedents for how AI is regulated in defense. Digging deeper, the source mentions how this use of Claude sparked a feud, probably because Anthropic might not have intended their tech for military applications, highlighting the dual-use nature of AI. On one hand, it's impressive that AI can handle complex operations in real time, but on the other, it opens up concerns about escalation in global conflicts if more countries adopt similar tech. I'm thinking, what if this becomes the norm? Could we see AI making autonomous decisions in warfare, which is a line we haven't crossed yet? That's really concerning, and it makes me curious about international agreements to limit AI in weapons, because while innovation is great, we can't ignore the potential for misuse. Overall, this story shows how AI is evolving beyond entertainment into critical, life-altering domains. Okay, so building on that, let's not forget the broader implications. This Pentagon case could accelerate AI development in defense sectors, pushing companies like Anthropic to clarify their policies on military use. From what I've read, it's already causing ripples in the AI community, with calls for more oversight to prevent tech from being weaponized. I was going to brush past it, but actually wait, this ties back to our first story. If AI bots can sway opinions, imagine how they could be used in propaganda during conflict. That's a double whammy, and it reinforces the need for ethical guidelines across the board.
Moving on, though, because we've got one more key topic to cover.
All right, wrapping up with something a bit more optimistic. Let's talk about how the gap between open weight and proprietary AI models is shrinking. As highlighted in that Reddit discussion from our local llama, apparently models like Claude Opus are now so advanced that open weight alternatives are closing in fast, with mentions of things reaching similar intelligence levels. I mean, that's exciting because it democratizes AI. Smaller developers can build powerful tools without relying on big corporations, potentially leading to more innovation and accessibility. From the source, it's clear that advancements in things like quantization and broader support are making these open models viable for everyday use, which could lower barriers for researchers and hobbyists. This is a game changer, as it might foster a more competitive landscape where proprietary giants aren't the only players. Let me break this down a little. The post points out specific improvements, like how open-weight models are achieving performance close to Claude Opus 4.6 and GLM-5, which means we're seeing rapid progress in the field. That's really interesting because it challenges the status quo. If anyone can access high-level AI without massive resources, we could see a surge in applications from healthcare to education. But I have to add, there are risks too, like ensuring these models are safe and unbiased as they proliferate. Overall, though, this narrowing gap is a win for the community, encouraging collaboration and pushing proprietary companies to up their game. It's stories like this that keep me hooked on AI's potential. To put it in perspective, if open-weight models keep improving at this rate, we might soon have AI that's not only powerful, but also customizable for specific needs without the hefty price tags. I was going to say it's all positive, but actually, wait. It does raise questions about quality control and who verifies these models' accuracy. Still, from the source, it's evident that the tech is maturing quickly, which could lead to more ethical, transparent AI development. That's a hopeful note to end on, don't you think? Okay, so as we wrap up today's episode, just to recap, we covered the dangers of AI bots, manipulating beliefs, the Pentagon's bold use of AI in operations, and the exciting progress in open-weight models narrowing the intelligence gap. Each of these stories highlights how AI is influencing society, from threats to democracy to advancements in technology, and it's clear we need to stay vigilant while embracing the innovations. You know, it's episodes like this that remind us why tech AI is so crucial to follow closely. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, stay curious and critical out there. Before I sign off, I want to leave you with this. In a world that's increasingly driven by AI, let's all make an effort to question what we see online and support developments that promote good. That's all for today on Tech AI Daily. I'll catch you tomorrow with more insights. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep that tech spirit alive.